Good day. Welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. In your news today, Guyanese will be given 2 weeks to examine and make recommendations on the new oil contract being drafted by the government before the document is finalized. This is according to information published on the Ministry of Natural Resources website. It was explained that the government would host consultations on the indicative terms and guidelines of the production sharing agreement between December 12, 2022 and January 31, 2023. However, the draft model contract would only be released on February 13, 2023, also marking the commencement of consultations on the document. The process is slated to wind down by February 28, 2023, and this means that Guyanese will be granted a mere 15 days to scrutinize the document and offer comments to the administration. Meanwhile, the AFC, one of the country's largest political parties, is arguing that ExxonMobil is not being truthful to the Guyanese people by hiding pertinent data regarding production. On Friday, the party explained what it believes the country's actual benefit from oil and gas is. Dr. Vincent Adams, a member of the AFC, explained that the country is merely benefiting from a 14.5% share after Exxon bags 75% to cover its expenses to develop the resource. And tragic news, an 11-year-old student of Tagore Memorial Secondary School was on Tuesday found dead in the backyard of her number 50 village Quarantine Burbies home. Reports are that Tanisha Johnson, who was last seen playing in a torn hammock in the backyard, was found in a kneeling position with part of the hammock wrapped around her neck. It was while the mother was purchasing some fish that one of her children ran towards her screaming that something was wrong with Tanisha. The grieving mother said that she rushed home only to find her daughter motionless, with blood oozing from her nose near the hammock under a tree in the backyard. And the tragedy continues. The bodies of two siblings aged 5 and 1 who drowned in the Pomeroon River Region 2 on Monday night were recovered early Tuesday morning. The children have been identified as 5-year-old Rashana Atkinson and 1-year-old Josiah Atkinson of Karawab. The children, along with their parents, 23-year-old Novita and 33-year-old Binot and 7-year-old brother Jade, were returning home from Karawab, Pomeroon, in the family's boat after completing some Christmas shopping at Charity. At about 20 hours 30 in the vicinity of St. Monica, the boat struck a floating object, causing the boat's motor to slip out of Binot's hand. As a result, the boat aggressively turned on its side, tossing all occupants overboard. And now let's tell you, Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben on Tuesday during his address at the Criminal Investigation Department's Christmas luncheon and award ceremony said that a new machine to conduct DNA testing at the Guyana Forensic Science Laboratory has been procured and will arrive in the country within a couple of months. He related that once the machine is up and running, cold cases that have been awaiting DNA evidence will be speeded up. He also said that bodies that have been kept at morgues awaiting DNA samples will finally be buried. And moving on, the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board has awarded M&B Construction $339.2 million to construct a riprap city fence at Maikoni between Essex and Concord. When bids were opened for the project, we had reported that M&B Construction was among 10 contractors who had applied for the Ministry of Public Works project, estimated cost $352.6 million. Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel announced that works will continue aggressively since the area is being threatened by the sea, especially with the increasing high tides. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is the news at noon. We'll return shortly after the break.
Right now, children are at an increased risk of sexual abuse, and the perpetrator can be nearer than you think. So stay alert and be aware. Be aware of your neighbors. Be aware of your friends. Be aware of the people you have in your home. Do not become complacent. Protect children now. You can make a report to the police or call the CPA hotline on 227-0979.
A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
This is GHK Lal, inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues, immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. A new Inter-American Development Bank report has flagged Guyana's ballooning inflation rate, which it said has been above historical levels since June last year, eroding consumer purchasing power and contributing to higher poverty levels and inequality. The report said that Caribbean countries should prepare for prolonged effects of external economic shocks in 2023, including high food and fuel prices and rising international interest rates. The bank said higher interest rates could lead to economic slowdowns or even recessions in important source markets for exported services and goods from the Caribbean. Though the report spoke glowingly of Guyana's economic prospects, it noted that there have been important local effects of these global headwinds that have not been as favorable as the improvements in the terms of trade, mainly through their impact on local price levels. And the Court of Appeal has reduced the 13-year sentence of Hansel Andre Lewis, who was convicted of $900 million to over $2 billion. The PPPC government is playing dice with Guyanese taxpayers. What was the cost? $900 million is now more than double that number. The Wales gas-to-energy project is shaping up to be another black hole, one more white elephant. Whatever benefits this gas-to-energy project held before could now be lost. This sounds like another clever concoction to rip off Guyanese by their own government. Double the gas-to-energy project's cost could mean double the money collected by PPPC insiders. Taxpayers lose on each occasion. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. And that's the news of the moment. Remember to get the full details of these stories, pick up a copy of the Kaieteur News. And don't forget, you can catch us